This is David Lynn, and you are here for Toffee Talk. This is the Sunday edition. Gotta adjust where I'm sitting so I can line it up. Oh, Lord. Uncle Al by Bullfrog 79 and KP Heathen. Good evening, gentlemen. Well, I hope everybody had a good weekend. I'm not looking forward to going to work tomorrow, but it is what it is. Hello, Holly Ivans, and hello, Rachel. Belinda's Country Living. Hello, Belinda. So, Uncle Al is my unofficial mentor. We communicate, we talk. He sends me stuff, I send him stuff. We discuss about what's going on in the news. We talk about what's going on in the news. He gives me topics to go through. And I mean, he spends time, he gives me good stuff to talk about. So this evening, he suggests we talk about YouTube and understanding creator content and how things work. So that's going to be the main topic for tonight. One of the things he keeps telling me about is, don't use your smartphone to get your information. Might not be true, or something to that effect. You need to do real research to verify what you say. Don't just parrot other people. So I was looking at the first 100 days, and I'll do a coffee talk on this. I'll do a coffee talk news. It's been a while since I've done a coffee talk news, but I will do a coffee talk news on it. And the New York Post, which is not like ultra conservative, but it's more a little bit to the right. And on March the 31st, 2025, New York Post, quoting the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, and I did look it up. I did look up ICE and what they have to say. And basically, there have been 113,000 arrests. God darn it. There have been I'm using my iPad. There have been 113,000 arrests since Trump took office, and that was at the end of March. And there have been over 100,000 deportations. So first 2.5 months, you've had over 100,000 deportations. And, people say, well, that's a lot, and it is a good amount. There are reportedly, at that time, there were 48,000 in detention centers. So they've got 48,000 immigrants in detention centers. Reportedly, 54% of them are being held that have convictions. They've already been convicted of a crime, or that they have pending charges against them. So these are criminal immigrants or illegals, non-citizens. 54% of those. And that's what I have on that for right now. And I'm either getting that from the ICE site, or I'm quoting from the article, the New York Post. I have some other stuff I'm reading through right now that talks about the first 100 days. And one of the things that they talk about, and I'm just paraphrasing it, they're on a pace right now to, in the first year, deport over 500,000 illegals. They're projecting that there will be over 500,000 deportations in the first year of the Trump administration. The goal is to do 1 million in the first year. They're saying they're going to do over 500,000, that they can project that there'll be over 500,000. So I don't know what y'all think about that. 6 in the house, 5 likes. Please leave a like to support the channel. It will be greatly appreciated. So, getting into this evening's topic, we're about 8 minutes into the live stream. YouTube and understanding creator content. Uncle Al says I should not be repeating the same material over and over again. And he says, like Disney. They do a lot of remakes, and the remakes are nowhere near as good as the originals, and they don't do near as good as the originals. Melinda Elliott, hello, Melinda Elliott. How are you doing? Hello, Enrique Trevino. Thank you for coming. So, Joseph Moore, nice young man, beautiful family. He texted me an attachment for a video from its hometown, Lawton, Oklahoma. They're having massive flooding. They had like 5 inches of rain in 2 hours, in it flooding, massive flooding. The streets look like lakes. And that's certainly SHTF. He sent me an attachment to a link to a video on it, news. So I would say pray for Joseph Moore and his family. please. Um, so if you're doing content, don't keep repeating the same theme. People are going to start thinking that I have a cooking channel because I do lots of food. I cook some. I usually cook 2 meals a day. I usually do eggs. I do like an egg plate, or I do tacos, or I do something involving eggs in the morning. This morning I did eggs with sausage. I used the low carb, low calorie tortillas for my wife. I used the regular tortillas for me. And I put cheese in it. So it was a 4 egg taco, 4 eggs in a taco with cheese and sausage today. Mine, I cut up a jalapeno and I put a jalapeno in it. And I think I did a video of that. I think I uploaded a video of that. You can see all the little cut up jalapeno. But I buy jalapenos. I put jalapeno in it. And but I do a lot of food. Uncle Al does a lot of food. I use him as an example. I watch a lot of his stuff. Uncle Al does a lot of food, videos. And we both upload. I upload a couple every day. And and I'm averaging over 1,000 views a day right now. So in the last 28-day period, I've had like 30 some odd thousand views, which is really good for me. It is. And a couple of 100 hours of watch time. Now, another thing Uncle Al said, parroting other people's works without the research. And using a smartphone for your information. Well, I will tell you, I use my iPad, I use my Apple phone, and I look at certain news sites that give me information, and then I research on it, and I read articles that I'm able to find. I'm not getting print the way I used to. Used to be, another thing is don't reminisce. He says don't reminisce. It makes you seem like you're mentally ill or you're losing your mind when you reminisce. I guess I'm losing my mind. But back in the days, I used to subscribe to 3 different papers. I had the Corpus Christi Caller-Times, which was the paper in Corpus. I had the San Antonio Express, which was the conservative paper in San Antonio, Texas. And I took the weekend issues of the Wall Street Journal, which was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And those were my 3 newspapers. And then I took magazines. I took Time, Newsweek, Life. Back in the day when I was younger, I used to get the Rolling Stone. I would get Spin. This was whenever they came out, the issues came out. I used to get National Geographic. I had a set of Encyclopedia Britannicas. I don't even know where they went. Set of Encyclopedia Britannicas. And that was where You know, and then if I wanted to research, I would go down to the library. And they had microfiche, and they had all of the bound copies of all the different periodicals. You know, when I was researching for college papers and such. And that was those were my sources of news. Yeah, I watched a little bit. Sometimes I would watch the 6 o'clock news or the 10 o'clock news at night. It was an hour. Got away from doing that. I used to listen to Rush Limbaugh. I used to listen to Paul Harvey, news and comments. Paul Harvey would be in the morning, early. Rush Limbaugh came on midday. Back in the days. You know. Hats on a mission. Hello. Welcome. Hats on a Mission's a relatively new channel. 110 subscribers. 15 videos. 111 subscribers. How are you doing? All right. You got a blue wrench. Hats on a mission. And I befriended you on both of my channels. Welcome. Yes, I'm doing something I've been told not to do. I'm reminiscing. Drifting and not sticking to the script. Well, I'm well known for that. I'm always getting... Uncle Al's always... He says, stick to the script. And he gave me a good list of topics to talk about. Reminiscing on the past over and over again. Well, I think I talk about different things. I have a varied past. And I talk about different things from the past. I like to talk about the changes in technology, the upgrades and the new technology, the things that we had that we didn't have when I was younger. I oftentimes point out that the internet came out in '95, and I had my second graduate degree. I have 2 graduate degrees. My second graduate degree, I got it in '95. So I already had 2 bachelor's degrees, 2 graduate degrees in '95 when the internet came out. And do you remember the dial-up? You know, it was very slow. You'd use your phone line, dial-up internet. So he says it's a sign of mental health issues or a lack of understanding of YouTube. Well, I would hope that it's a lack of understanding of YouTube, because I really don't know. You know, why does YouTube do what it does? You know, the algorithm, the way it's... Did you know YouTube's been around since 2005? So 10 years after the internet, then you got YouTube. YouTube's been around for 20 years. this month. Yeah, you've got mail. Yep, it'd kick you off. If you were, it would kick you off if you got a phone call. Why most people mess up on YouTube? Lack of tech support or a guide. Big problem is planning a live stream. Um, True. The big channels, the big podcasters, the people who were on network news or they were on internet news. That at one point in time making millions of dollars getting paid, and now they're no longer on Fox or they're no longer on this or that, and now they're podcasting. They're doing streams and they're podcasting, and they've got a million subscribers, so they can afford to have a producer, and they can afford to have a tech person, somebody who's researching for them, finding stuff for them, topics for them, helping them research. They got a couple people they're paying. They can afford to. They're incorporated. And they got people that either worked for them back in the day or that they've hired. Maybe young people, interns, to help them. And everything looks nice and professional. They're not, they may be using a computer to do their podcast, or they may have a camera and then they upload it. Something quality, they've got good lighting. I mean, what you see is what you get with me. I use a ring light. It's got a mount so I can mount my phone on it. Sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't, because it tends to wash me out. The light tends to wash me out. And I edit with the iMovie. So if I do footage, I edit with iMovie. I can add text. I can add music and various things. I don't do Canva. I've got a couple of nice thumbnails that I use. A paraprofessional that works with me, under me, made those for me using Canva. Probably need to learn how to use Canva. There are different programs that people use. I'm pretty good with iMovie. That's the one I've been using for the last couple of years, And I'm pretty good with iMovie. If it works, it's not broken, don't fix it. 8 in the house, 10 likes. Little Lone Prepper, how are you doing? Another thing Uncle Al reminds me of, it's like, where I work at school starts at 8:30, and the official attendance period is third period. So people who come in late, because there are kids that come in late, sometimes they're 30 minutes, hour late. They don't do first period as the official attendance period. Third period it's at 10:30. You get a bell that goes off, bing, 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 and that's like gives you 10 minutes to input your attendance for third period, and that's the official attendance period. So one of the things I've been advised to do, and Uncle Al's always telling me to do it, is post that I'm going to do a live stream at least 6 hours before. And sometimes I make 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours before, or I let y'all know with a few hours to spare I'm not going to live stream. And he says, post when you're going to live stream. And a lot of times I'll do a post and maybe I'll attach a picture, of something, food or something that, Um, I had I did a short a little before I started this, and in the first 10 minutes, it had over 300 views, and it kept going up, and it was over 500 views, and it's up around 600 views, and it slows down. You get a push out, and depending on how the results are, you'll get 400 or so views, and if it comes fairly fast, then you get another push out. So I regularly now, on a fairly regular basis, I'll have shorts that have 1,000, 1,100 views. They'll get 1,000, 1,100 views on one short. Sometimes I'll have that happen two shorts, 3 shorts in a row. And then I'll have a clinker and I'll get like 20, 25 views in a 24-hour period. It's like 25 views. And it'll be the people that really watch me. Like, YouTube didn't do anything for that. They just, somebody that gets notifications when I post something because they've hit the notifications bell. Those are the ones that see those. Why they do that, I don't know. You know, to me, they're just as good. The music that I put onto it is just as good. You know, 30, 35, 40-second short. And if you go and you look at some of them, just look at my page that shows shorts. It'll show like several rows of shorts. See how many, look at the numbers on them. And you'll see a short that 25, 30 views. Or maybe 100 views. The stuff on either side of it is 400 or 1,000 or 500 or whatever. You know, 1,100. So I don't understand the algorithm. I do not understand the YouTube algorithm the way it does that. Yeah, Enrique, that's true. Hello, Dave. How you doing? Dave's channel's been blowing up. He's on an upward trend way up above me. I still haven't hit 1,900, Dave. I'm like it. I was at 1,896, and then it dropped down. I lost one, then I lost another one. It was at 1,894, and then now it's back up to 1,895. Eventually, I'll hit 1,900. Yeah, I've got a friend who works with me that had a minor stroke, was in the hospital. I'm going to find out tomorrow if he's still in the hospital, and if he is, I'll go visit him. Happened Friday. And bad situation, bad situation. Really, it's a bad situation. Carlos Rubino. God bless him. So something I had said earlier, Joseph Moore. I commented to the folks about what you had sent me, Joseph. Yes, if they want to let you see who they subscribe to, I can see them. Dave. I can see who has recently, the latest, who subscribed me, if they want me to see. A lot of people do not want you to see who they're subscribed to, and YouTube does not reveal that. Um, so Joseph sent me a link to a video. Lawton, Oklahoma, massive flooding. That's his hometown, I guess, where he's from. Massive flooding, like 5 inches of rain in 2 hours. And downtown, all the just looked like a lake where he's at. Hello, Wayne. How you doing? Haven't been watching the flow. Wayne becoming dangerous, the ungrateful peasant. He puts out a lot of good material, a lot of good commentary. That'd be one I recommend everybody follow. That sounds like a good meal. Sounds like a good meal. 5 inches in 30 minutes? Okay. Woo! It's a lot of rain. A lot of rain. So, I had said earlier, and I'll go over the topics again, but I wanted to get this one in again, and it'll be in a Coffee Talk News when I do my next little 5-minute news. What I want to talk about is that U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, what they call ICE, from the New York Post, March the 31st, 2025, there had been 113,000 arrests of illegal immigrants as of that article being written, and over 100,000 deportations. 100,000 deportations. And at that time, 48,000 in detention centers waiting to be dealt with. 54% of those that were being held either have convictions for offenses or pending charges for offenses, what you call criminal illegals. And another source that I was looking at said that the Trump administration was on the way, based on where they're at the rate that they're going, looking at over 500,000 deportations this year. In the first year of the Trump administration, over 500,000 deportations. And they were pointing out that the goal is to have 1 million deportations in the first year. But one of the things that was mentioned is they haven't had the funding, and they haven't been able to hire to bulk up the forces. They've got troops at the border, they've got National Guard at the border, they got the Border Patrol, but they're looking to increase the number of people so that they can do more. They're also facing a lot of suits. Trump has issued over 100 executive orders in his administration, dealing with various issues and such, trying to repeal things that the Biden administration had done, things to try to streamline things. And there had been 50 or so lawsuits that have been filed, and you're hearing about lower courts blocking things that they're trying to do, that the administration's trying to do. And that's the left's. They're trying to just basically delay, try to slow down what's being done. Hopefully, they can get a better deal in the next election. That's their goal, is basically to be the opposition and to basically try to stop whatever's being done, whether it's good or, I mean, they can't admit anything that's happening is good. There have been a couple of judges that have been arrested for interfering. Lower court, that were involved trying to help illegals, either directly housing them or trying to. One of them got in trouble for reportedly helping an illegal and their attorney get out a side door or a back door or something other, knowing that they were trying to detain them. They basically went through some sort of, and to help them get out. That judge has been arrested. There's a lot of stuff that's going on. The wife of Bob Menendez, who was a New Jersey senator, who was convicted. His wife, who had health issues, her trial was delayed. She was just recently convicted for what they were doing. They were doing some illegal stuff, and a lot of a lot of crooked politicians. A lot of crooked politicians. Five judges. Well, I know they're getting ready to go after the ones that went after Trump. They're in the process of trying to get the ones that went after Trump. One of them was trying to prosecute him for, because of the loan that he had. They said that he had done some fraudulent claims to get his loan. Nobody got hurt from it, but they're trying to claim that they estimated Mar-a-Lago was worth $18 million, and they're saying it's probably worth $500 million. But the judge, the court said, "Oh, well, that that's not real. It's only worth like $18 million." And some of the crap. Well, some of those people are right now being investigated, and may be prosecuted for some of the mess that they pulled. So there's a lot of stuff going on. So, going over the topic for this evening, the ones that provided by Uncle Al, which I think is a really good topic, talks about YouTube and understanding creator content. And the idea, there are 5 different things. One is repeating the same material over and over again, like Disney. You need to change the pattern so the algorithm doesn't pick up on it. Post different stuff. vary it. I've had Dave, who goes by Yoda. He's told me the same thing. After I hit 1900, which I'm 5 away right now, and I do my 1900 subscriber giveaway, I'm going to let my main channel rest for about a month, and I'll start using my backup channel. I've got a secondary channel. It's got 60 subscribers. Most of you that follow me right here are on that, and I will start putting stuff out on my backup channel for a month, let the main channel rest. Another one is parroting other people's works without the research. I try to get my stuff from news sources that are substantiated or reputable. Like I quoted the New York Post from an article that I read that they had put out about the detentions, deportations. I got that from them from an article. I went onto the ICE site, got some information from them. He says using a smartphone for your information. Well, I get most of my stuff. I don't do print. A lot of the print stuff is dead. I use my iPad. I use my my Apple phone to look at news sites that I find. I get information from them. And drifting, not sticking to the script. That's the third one he said. Reminiscing of the past over and over again, which I guess he's accusing me of doing. A sign of mental health issues or lack of understanding of YouTube. Well, I would think in my regards it would probably be lack of understanding of YouTube. I was high tech in 1995. I was high tech. Used to use a MacBook back then. Notebook computer, Mac. I had a Mac Classic. If you remember the old black screen, black and white screen, wasn't a color. Mac Classic. But that was high tech back then. Used to use the dial-up. Why most people mess up on YouTube? Lack of tech support or a tech guy, somebody or lady, somebody knows tech. I have access at school. I've got a pair that's very good with tech. My daughter knows a lot more than I do. She'll come over sometimes and help me, or I get help at school. They said big problems planning a live stream. Planning for it. Don't just off the cuff. They have a plan or have a script. Whatever you're going to talk about. And I do, but then I do reminisce, and I do get off on other. Somebody will mention something other, and I do get off on other things. Well, I will say, compared to, it has the same operating system that it did back then. To me, it's better than a PC, but mostly, more people use PCs than Macs. I've have access to both. Always post your live stream. He tells me at least 6 hours before I go on, post that I'm gonna be going on. Post your live stream, and I do try to do that. I try to post ahead of time. I'll post whether I'm going to be or I'm not going to be. I do that. And those are 5 issues with YouTube. Vary your material. Make sure you use legitimate sources when you're quoting stuff, something you know to be true. Don't quote somebody else that's misquoting or quoting false information. Try to go through your script, hit the points of your script, have tech support, and then post. And those are the 5 things that he wanted me to go over today. And I do appreciate it, Uncle Al. I do appreciate it. This is a nervous habit. I'm doing this right now. Why are you doing this while you're streaming? Well, why not? You know. I will be doing a 1,900 subscriber giveaway when I hit 1,900. And like I said, it's like, God almighty, it's just my friend Dave picking up 1,000 or so a month new subscribers. Actually, more than that in the last couple of months. Me, I can't even hit the next 100 figure. I'm staying right below 1,900, and I'll get there. At some point, I'll get there. And then I'll do a 1,900 subscriber giveaway. And if you want to be involved, you need to leave me a like and a supportive comment on each of the last 5 videos I will have released. And I'm not talking live streams, I'm not talking shorts, I'm talking videos. I'm not talking posts, and I appreciate you leaving me comments and likes on all those, but it'll be the last 5 videos. Like, I don't anticipate releasing another video before I hit 1,900. Joseph Moore will be getting a follow-up box from me. He sent me a real nice emergency pack, which I truly appreciate, and I'm going to respond with sending something back to him, and I'll do a video of that, and it will probably be after I hit 1,900, and it may be I'll get it to him and I'll have a film and everything done, but it'll probably be after I get back into my current channel after I let it rest for about a month. But I'll have already sent it to him. And I'll start putting stuff out on my backup channel. I've got a lot of stuff that I've got in private mode that I can basically start releasing on my backup channel. Maybe my backup channel will hit 100. Right now it's at 60. And I think most of you I'm subscribed to on my backup channel. I think most of you probably are subscribed to me on my backup channel, the ones that are here faithfully that stay with me. Yeah, retaliation. Mike Crusher Reviews. Mike, I apologize. Last video you had released was about 2 weeks ago, and I just watched it today. But I watched the entire thing. I hit the button. Very good video. Very good video. I watch everything that Mike puts out. It might be a week or 2 behind, but I get to it. Mike is my go-to person for MREs, freeze-dried. He does excellent food reviews, ration reviews. He does excellent reviews, and he deserves so many more subscribers than he has. And I keep threatening to do I keep threatening to open like an A case and just start going through and just start doing reviews on them. There are people who do that. You get a case, you open it up, you start going through the various menus, and you just start laying out reviews. And people will, it'll shock some people. It's been so long since I've done a food review. It's been so long time since I've done a food review. But I will get around to doing some. So, we're a month out from summer. We're a month out. Hurricane season starts. Get into June. Are you prepared? on a Thai ration, Czech Republic, and some interesting vegetarian Canadian IMPs. Uh, those vegetarians, yes, vegetarian. God almighty. Mm, well, yeah, I talk. I have friends that are very conservative. Well, I guess what you would call them. We used to say, oh, they're minorities, like Hispanics. Uh, but I mean, people that you would think, well, they're all, left wing Democrat. No, these are some conservative people. Some of the most conservative people I know are Hispanics. They're more conservative than I am, and I am to the right, and they're to the right of me. You know, and I've talked to some of them, and they talk about their kids. They've got kids that are fairly liberal. And they talk. It's like they just shake their heads, stuff that they do, and like got a friend who was talking about my kid voting for Harris. It just made him sick. I said, hey, man, I'd have to slap the crap out of that kid. I do not promote violence. I do not promote violence. Don't. That's humor. That's just humor. Didn't mean it. Just humor. Oh boy. That is true. But I tell you what, I know a bunch of Hispanics that they're a hardcore Baptist. My Aunt Marie, who was married to my father's baby brother, she was a hardcore Baptist. May she rest in peace. You know, she did not like illegal. My wife did not go for illegal immigrants. A lot of Hispanics do not like the illegals. The illegals make them look bad. They give certain Hispanics, gives them a bad name. And so, what are your thoughts? I did a nice news on the wall, and it got decent views. I did one on the wall, building the wall, about doing the wall, how they're doing. The state of Texas, it's really working on building the wall. You know, it's like 11 places along the Texas border where they're building wall, and they have to obtain the rights to the land, the easement of where they're building. They've got to get. They've got to. There's some bureaucracy that goes with that, and the federal government has started issuing contracts to build wall. There was a contract for about $75 million by the federal government to build wall, like 7 miles of wall, some area in Texas. I forget where. That they're building wall, and then there are areas where they have to replace wall, like where they had bollard or they had like short walls, like 10 feet. A 10-foot wall is not. If they want to get across, they're going to get across. And then they're going through and they're the military and they're doing lots of Constantina wire. They're putting up a lot of wire along the tops of wall that's short or at the bottom of a wall to try to keep people from, and I mean, they're women, younger folks, older people will not go through that area, but somebody who's pretty good shape, a man, pretty good shape, they could get through it. They might get a little cut up, but they'll get through it. You know. And you have to understand, we're talking about thousands of miles of wall. Lot of areas where they don't have wall. They're trying to put wall up. It takes time to build those walls. And, it's just slow go. Slow go. I think Trump is doing some good stuff. I think he is. I think they're fighting him. You know, I will never be leader of our people, but I jokingly would say that, if ever I took control, which will not happen, you have no fear that it'll ever happen because I'm not going to run for anything. But if I took control for the first couple of weeks, they would think that the Antichrist had shown up for what I would do. And I guarantee you it would be very popular. And I say that jokingly, but I wouldn't play with them. And Trump was a Democrat. A lot of people, like Reagan, was a Democrat. They used to, he would tell jokes. Mr. President, do you feel responsible for anything, Well, at one time I was a Democrat. And people would laugh. He'd talk about, a Republican campaigning for office stands on a pile of manure or some country people and speaks, and they said they'd never seen a Republican before, and he said, well, I'd never given a Republican speech while standing on the Democratic platform. He was standing on a horse shit or whatever. And it is what it is. Yeah. I feel your pain, Wayne. I feel your frustration. I know. I understand. But if you are a Christian and if you read Scripture, you know that towards the end times, things will get bad and they'll get worse. I look to when they start building the temple. When they build the third temple, you know it's getting close. Because that's when certain things are going to come into place. I think the building of the temple will cause the war against Israel when they all come against them, because they're going to tear down that mosque, that dome of the rock mosque that's sitting on top of the Temple Mount, in order to build the temple. And then the Muslims are just going to go crazy. It's like they lose that, like Trump derangement syndrome. They're just going to lose their minds. And I think that's when they took about 3.5 years of peace and 3.5 years of war, and then the return. Well, Uncle Al, thank you for coming. Appreciate you. Keep the topics coming, sir. Appreciate you. So, if you have not done so, please leave a like to support the channel. It'd be greatly appreciated. I'll post whether I'm going to do a live stream or not. It's really rough right now. We're going to be having the final week of STAR testing, that state test. We're going to have the final week of STAR testing. It may be this next Friday before I do another live stream. I will continue to post 2 or 3 shorts a day. Please support me in those shorts. Leave a like if you would. Appreciate it. Walter Davis, been a while since I've had you on here. Thank you for coming. You're coming in at the tail end. Please leave a like to support the channel. Walter, appreciate it. Hard to believe that Fetterman, your Democrat senator, the only thing that looks sort of halfway moderate, has been trying to work with the administration. It's amazing how, having had a stroke, and that he is really a lot more functional than he was. I mean, he still dresses the way I do on the weekend, but going to like in shorts and a sweatshirt or whatever. But he's a for the Democrats. Dealing with. It'd be nice if there would be a lot more Democrats that were like him, and things would probably be a little bit more friendly. So, as I said, please leave a like and a supportive comment on the last 5 videos I've released if you'd like to be in the drawing. Right now, I'd say from the last video, probably about 20 people maybe. I'd have to track back 4 more videos to see if they are all going to be, in that drawing, but it's not going to be that many people. And my 1,900 subscriber giveaway will be a very nice goodie box. Very nice goodie box. So look at one of my previous ones to see what goes in them. When I get up in the morning, I thank God for the day. I take my medication, I drink my coffee, I say the Lord's Prayer, try to get right with the day. Remember to be prepared. The Scout motto is be prepared. I was a Scout, didn't stay in it after my father passed away, but I learned a lot from the Scouts. I learned a lot of old school stuff. And everybody, please have a blessed day, and hopefully we'll see each other again on Coffee Talk. Thank you. Bye-bye.